Alright, what's up guys? So this video here is for all the Druid haters. Everybody's saying Druid is really weak. I just want to show you the build I came up with. It feels decently strong to me. Nothing crazy here, just stuff I found while playing, leveling up. Probably pretty much what kind of stuff you'll get while you are playing the live version of the game. A couple of these things I think I did have from a couple other characters I found, like these two rings I think was it. The rest of the gear I've actually this ring right here I think is the only ring that was from another character. The rest of this is all gear I found. So here is the gear if you want to take a look. Skill tree, pretty basic. I've got all the storm skills, tornado, earth and bulwark, it's my only defensive skill, and then it gives me unstoppable. Cyclone armor I have max just to reduce non-physical damage, and I needed to pump points into something so that I could get down to the Wrath skills. I've got a point in Hurricane. Hurricane's kind of my main damage dealer. These passive skills here, though, are what really drive the build, and then I've got Cataclysm as my ultimate. So this here, all your storm skills have a 20% chance to make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. If I had more points, I would finish maxing these. This is just passively every 18 seconds it does damage. If I had more points it goes up to like 11 seconds. Not 100% sure. I mean, it's probably worth the 2 points. But this is, I think, really what's good. So 30% chance when dealing damage to vulnerable, immobilized, or stunned enemy with lightning strike that does 246 damage. So here you can see all your storm kills have a 20% chance to make enemies vulnerable. So that procs it, especially Hurricane, because it's just constantly doing damage. It slows and it reduces damage from enemies. You can choose to get this to make enemies vulnerable. But I feel like this already kind of covers you for that, so it's probably better to get this. Cyclone armor, they get knocked back, they get slowed every 10 seconds. It gives me some damage reduction just for more survivability. Here we've got unstoppable, and then it does damage after it breaks. Tornado is my core skill. So I can keep hitting things with Storm Strike. Just cast it. 20% chance to give you an extra tornado. That's good. Again, I don't think you need this to make enemies vulnerable because this elemental exposure already does it. And then this slows enemies up to 40%. That's good. And then Storm Strike. It's AoE, which is great. And it gives me 15% chance to immobilize everybody that it hits, and a 50% chance to make enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds. So you can kind of see how this build works. It causes vulnerable and does some slowing, a little bit of CC with the immobilize, and then we go for proccing these lightning strikes. And I also on this amulet here, it can also proc lightning strikes with my storm skills from getting crits. So let me just show you it in action here, and we'll just run through this dungeon. The other nice thing is it'll just, you know, randomly break stuff for you. I feel like this build, it can kill a screen full of enemies about as fast as one. So you can see the lightning actually does proc quite often. Oh, awesome. Alright, so we just got a disconnect. Let me jump back in. Alright, well that's kind of irritating. It put me down. Alright, let me just head back to that dungeon real fast. Hopefully we don't get any more disconnects. But as you can see, the lightning procs a lot. And we'll see if I'm talented enough to run while we look at the skill tree at the same time. Really wish there was an overlay for the map. I'm not a fan of the mini map in the top right corner. But one thing I am really curious to see is the paragon boards and just how that system is going to work. Is it going to be unique to each class, or are they... I'm assuming it's unique to each class, but not 100% sure. I think this build would only continue to get stronger. This passive here, so you can increase Hurricane and Cataclysm. This one is interesting because dealing lightning damage has a chance to immobilize, and if they're already immobilized, it will increase the lightning damage. So you can get more lightning damage. You can consume your nature skills that consume spirit heal you for 1%. So, I mean, that's not terrible. This is just a damage increase. But you can see there's quite a bit of room for growth, and I think it could do a considerable amount of damage when you get all of these other passive nodes unlocked. And then when you go into paragon boards and when you start to find more legendary and unique powers that increase it. But my tornado does, I mean, it has pretty decent clear speed so far, at least from what I can tell.
I need more spirit.
The build really starts to shine the more enemies that are on the screen. But you can see the lightning strikes do quite a lot of damage. And I just pop my ult whenever there are elites. see what those boots were. One thing I've been curious to know is crowd control. Does that count slow, or is slow different from crowd control? Is crowd control just like stun, freeze? Is immobilized crowd control? I'd like to know that information.
I need more spirit.
Probably the biggest weakness of this build is just a lack of mobility skills, but that doesn't really bother me. Kind of what I'm expecting in terms of scaling for this is that you'll reach a point where you'll have 100% uptime on Hurricane, or virtually 100%, and then Lightning, you'll just be proccing Lightning everywhere on the screen.
With you. Fence says the math doesn't add up right. Says she saw you skulking around the reserves last night. Says we're short 2 boxes of the good stuff. No need to worry. I know you'll make it right. And I know you'll come tell me exactly how. I'd hate to let you go. The wargs like you, my friend. But they like fresh meat too. Think on that.
And I'm sure there's going to be more like legendary powers that will help synergize and buff this build. So I don't think Druid's that weak.
I do not have enough.
Alright, now let's do a boss fight. Or we'll find the boss and then we'll fight him.
I do not have enough spirit. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. I want its spirit. I need more spirits.
Alright, I guess there's no boss in this zone, but you kind of get the idea of how this build works that I came up with in the beta. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and remember to give them the D.